Hi, boys and girls. Mrs. Hanson here. I wanted to continue our lesson in math with comparing length. Remember last week we compared some items, and then a lot of you guys have already sent me your items. You took pictures of them, and they were laying horizontal, and you had them lined up from shortest to longest. So thank you and good job for you guys that did that. Awesome. So first I want to start out with a little review, and then we'll get into what we are going to need for this lesson. So we were talking a lot about subtraction. So I got some fun stuff from the classroom that we could use. And for today we have, our little sheep fell over. We have our little sheep, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sheep. So 6 would be the first part of our number in our problem that we would make up. So we have 6, and then since we are subtracting, we'd have our minus sign. So we are going to take away 1, 2 sheep. So we would have 6 subtract 2 equals, and then we'd be able to count our sheep and see how many we have in all. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means 6 minus 2 equals 4. Good job. All right, so going into our comparing lengths, we had some vocabulary, and it was shorter and longer. So when we are comparing items, we are going to see which one is shorter and then which one is longer and compare and see where those fall. So first we are going to need our My Math book. Make sure it says volume 2 because I know we sent the ones home that were volume 1. We sent those back a while ago. These were the ones that you would have picked up from the school. So in our My Math book, you're going to go in and you're going to pull these sheets. It is 489, 490, 491, and 492. So what we are going to do, we are going to do 489 and 492 together, and then you guys will be able to do the 2 inside sheets on your own and send those to me. So with our first page, with our little red fish, on the bottom it says use cubes. We don't have cubes because they're in the classroom. So all you're going to have to do is draw a little square. So when it says use cubes to make a train shorter than the fish, a line of cubes is called a train. So we're not really drawing a train, we're just drawing cubes in a line. So when it says draw the train above the fish. So I'm going to do that, and then I want you guys to do the same exact thing. So I'm going to draw 1 and then 2 cubes together. And my 2 cubes are above my fish, and they are shorter than my fish. So you can see in the picture that my fish is longer than my 2 cubes, and my 2 cubes are shorter than my fish. So I want you guys to do that. Draw your 2 cubes above your fish that are shorter. So make sure your cubes are shorter. And then the next part, it says, use cubes to make a train longer than the fish. Draw the train below the fish. So now this time we need to draw our train of cubes below the fish. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to draw 7 cubes, and my 7 cubes are below my fish, and they are longer. So you can see my fish is shorter than my 7 cubes, and my 7 cubes are longer than my fish. So that is what I want your first page to look like. If your cubes are a little bigger or smaller, just make sure that you have your cubes that train of cubes on the top is shorter, and that train of cubes on the bottom is longer than that fish in the middle. And then on the back side, this is what you guys are going to complete on your own. So we have our vocabulary words, length, longer, and shorter. And so this shows an example. So the top one, it says, compare the objects. Trace the X on the object that is shorter and trace the circle around the object that is longer. So you can see for the first one, it already did that for us. So the shorter one, we're putting the X and the longer one we're putting our circle. So for number 2 and 3, I want you to do that for those. Now, there's a trick, because for the directions it says compare the objects. Draw an X on the object that is shorter and draw a circle around the one that is longer. Now, this is where you guys need to listen. If the objects are the same length, underline them. So I want you to look at your paper. Are any of these objects the same length? If they are, you have to underline them. If the object is shorter, you're going to put an X. If the object is longer, you are going to circle it. So that's what you're going to do on this page by yourself. And then on the next one, which is 491, which is the very next paper, we have our logs, turtles, frogs, and it looks like flies or dragonflies. Compare the objects. So it's the same direction. So listen again, okay? Draw an X on the object that is shorter. Draw a circle around the object that is longer. If the objects are the same length, underline them. So same directions as the last page. So look at this. Which one is longer? Circle it. The shorter one, underline it. I'm sorry. Put an X on it. Then same thing. Circle the longer item and then put an X on the shorter one. Same thing for this one. Remember, if they're the same, you underline them. X if they're shorter, circle if they're longer. And the same thing for this for number 7. Now we are going to do this back one together. So it looks like we have a cool slithery snake on the back. So for this one, it says use connecting cubes, which we don't have. So we are going to draw them on our own. And it says make a train the same length as the snake. So use the cubes to make a train shorter and a train longer than the snake. Oh, we have a lot of directions here. So first we're going to do one the same length. So Mrs. Hanson is going to draw her train of cubes right above her snake. And my squares are not perfect and my squares are not the same size, but that is okay. I just want to make sure that you guys are able to show me about with the same length as the snake is. So Mrs. Hanson drew her cubes above the snake to show you the same length as the snake. Now it says use the cubes to make a train shorter and a train longer. And then it says to draw a shorter snake with a green crayon above the snake and a longer snake with a green crayon below the snake. So you guys will need to use your green crayon. Mrs. Hanson does not have a green crayon. Actually, let me go find one second. So I have my handy dandy green crayon and I am going to draw my little snake that is shorter above my snake. So here's my little snake. So I drew my little green snake above my regular snake, and this snake is shorter than the original snake, and the original snake is longer than my snake that I drew. So now the next directions, it says we already drew our shorter snake with a green crayon. Now it says draw a longer snake with a green crayon below the snake. So below the snake, I am going to draw my snake that is longer with my green crayon below the snake on the paper. So you can see that I drew my snake longer below the original snake. So my longer snake is below and my shorter snake is above, and I drew my cubes that were the same length. Now it says using connecting cubes make a cube train. Draw 2 snakes the same length as the cube train using a red crayon. If you guys want to do that, you can, but you don't have to if you don't want to, because I want to see that you have your cubes the same length as the snake, and I want to see that you have your shorter snake above and your longer snake below. That's all I really want. If you want to draw 2 red snakes that are the same length underneath this right here, you absolutely can, but you do not have to. But if you do that, awesome job. So for that, that's what we are going to be doing. So we have page 489 that we did together, 490 that you guys are going to complete on your own, 491 that you guys are going to complete on your own, and then 492 that we did together, and I gave you the directions for that. So if you guys have any more questions on that, then just let me know. If not, you guys finish that up on your own, and I'm looking forward to seeing your guys' work. And if you guys have any other questions, just let me know, and I'll make sure I'll get lots more lessons on here for you guys so you guys can continue to learn at home. And I hope you guys are having fun. And we got a little bit of snow last night, so that was kind of fun too. All right, guys. Bye. Have a good day.